Deep in the tropics, thousands of acres of solo sunrise papayas reach peak maturity. Harvesting begins only when the color break indicates the perfect sugar content.
Precision is key. A single bruise can reject the fruit before it even leaves the field.
Using padded harvesters, workers detach the fruit without it ever touching the ground.
Latex sap leaks immediately, a sign of freshness and enzyme activity.
They are stacked stem down to allow the sticky latex to drain away from the skin.
Protective paper shielding ensures the delicate skin remains unblemished during the ride.
Teams clear nearly 10 acres a day, moving in sync with the ripening cycle.
Collection tractors run continuous loops to minimize the fruit's time in the sun.
Speed is essential. The tropical heat is the enemy of shelf life.
The latex drainage is critical. If it dries on the skin, it causes sap burn.
Shade cloth is applied immediately. Even an hour of direct sun can scald the harvest.
The payload leaves the soft soil of the grove for the journey to the facility.
Field logistics merge with industrial transport networks. A preliminary field check confirms the lot number and harvest zone. For the long haul to the factory, active cooling begins immediately.
Sealed at 12 degrees Celsius, the ripening process is effectively paused.
The raw harvest is secure. Now, the industrial transformation begins.
The cold chain is the lifeline of the operation, maintaining a strict climate for the papayas across hundreds of miles. Inside the cab, the driver doesn't just watch the road. He watches the papaya temperature.
Sensors relay real-time data. A spike of 2 degrees could ripen the papayas prematurely. Speed is balanced against stability. Too much vibration can bruise the internal flesh of the papayas.
Approaching the processing zone, the rural tranquility gives way to industrial efficiency.
This facility processes over 50 tons of raw papaya every single day.
Biosecurity is strict. Only authorized vehicles carrying certified papayas enter the clean zone.
Cleared for entry, the payload moves to the intake sector.
Every kilogram of papaya is accounted for. Payment to the growers depends entirely on this measurement. 24 tons. Minus the vehicle weight, we have a net harvest of 18 tons of fruit.
The yard is a choreographed chaos of incoming raw papayas and outgoing products.
Left, steady!
Precision docking is required to create an airtight seal with the factory building.
The journey is over. The cooling unit is switched off only now.
The integrity seal is broken under the supervision of the intake manager.
The floral aroma of ripe papaya immediately fills the receiving bay.
Welcome to the intake zone. The clock is now ticking on processing.
Spanning 300,000 square feet, this papaya plant is a fortress of hygiene.
Positive air pressure systems run 24/7, pushing air out so dust cannot reach the fruit.
Access is strictly controlled. Every entry is logged to the second.
Lint-free, button-free smocks prevent loose threads from falling into the papaya mash.
The floor demarcation is absolute. Street shoes never touch the production side.
Human hair is the #1 contaminant. Total coverage is mandatory.
Sensors dispense a hospital-grade bactericide.
"20 seconds of contact time is required to break down biofilms."
The final barrier is the air shower.
Jets of filtered air at 25 meters per second strip away any remaining dust particles.
He enters the high care zone. The air here is filtered to Class 100 standards.
Ahead lies the heart of the operation, the wet line.
Harvest, now ready for the wash.
To prevent bruising the heavy fruit, we dump them directly into a water cushion. Currents guide the fruit forward. This hydrotransport also serves as a pre-soak to loosen dried field mud.
Standard flat belts won't work. Heavy cleats are needed to lift the oblong fruit without them rolling back.
The tumbling action is intentional, exposing every angle of the irregular skin to the washers.
Jets at 100 psi strip away stubborn latex sap and soil particles.
Flexible brushes adapt to each fruit's unite shape, polishing without scratching.
Rinsed and polished, the true condition of the papaya skin is now visible.
Visual inspection is the only step that cannot be fully automated for this complex fruit.
Trained eyes spot deep cuts or malformations that could harbor bacteria.
Nothing is wasted. Rejects are diverted to local livestock farms.
A mandatory 20-minute hot bath eliminates any potential fruit fly eggs hidden in the skin. Hydrocooling immediately halts the heat penetration to preserve flesh firmness.
Excess moisture must be removed before the cameras can analyze the fruit.
To be graded, the fruit must be separated. No two papayas can touch.
Optical graders map the unique topography of every single papaya to calculate volume.
Elongated carrier cups transfer them over dynamic scales. The system sorts them by weight classes, ensuring uniform sizes for the peeling machines.
Sized, washed, and sorted, they are ready for the most invasive step, skin removal.
The temperature drops to 4 degrees Celsius. Here, the papaya is stripped of its outer shell.
Manual loading ensures the pear-shaped fruit is perfectly centered on its vertical axis.
Computer-guided blades follow the unique neck and bulb of each papaya, minimizing waste.
Simultaneous topping and tailing creates a uniform cylinder ready for splitting.
Exposed to the air, the orange flesh is vulnerable. Speed is now the only preservative.
And human dexterity is still needed to catch the tiny imperfections the auto peelers miss.
Before the seeds can be removed, the papaya must be split with surgical precision.
The cut reveals the central cavity, packed with hundreds of black, gelatinous seeds.
This seed mass is bitter and must be removed completely without damaging the sweet flesh.
Vacuum extractors remove 90% of the seeds in a single pulse. The seeds are collected separately, often dried and sold for medicinal extracts.
A manual polish ensures the cavity is perfectly clean and aesthetically pleasing. And
a final ozone shower kills surface bacteria instantly without using harsh chemicals.
The fruit is gripped securely as it enters the high-speed dicing matrix. Two-stage cutting transforms the organic shape into uniform 10mm cubes.
The cubing process releases juice. This vibration separates the solids from the liquid.
Only perfect cubes survive the shaker. The mush falls through to become puree.
The fresh state ends here. They are about to enter the cryogenic freeze tunnel.
Inside the tunnel, the temperature plummets to minus 40 degrees Celsius instantly.
High-velocity vertical air drafts create a fluidized bed, making the solid fruit behave like a liquid.
Speed is vital. Slow freezing creates large, jagged crystals that tear cell walls. Fast freezing keeps the papaya intact.
In the first zone, a crust forms in seconds, sealing the natural juices inside the core. After 10 minutes, the core temperature of every single cube reaches minus 18 degrees. They emerge transformed, from soft, perishable fruit to durable, frozen solids.
The shatter test confirmed.
While the premium cubes head to sorting, we track the journey of the fines and mush we separated earlier.
The fragments too small for cubes are not wasted. They are diverted to the papaya puree line. The hammer mill obliterates the fiber, turning the solid fragments into a smooth, liquid base.
Passed through a 0.5mm screen, the texture becomes perfectly silky.
Flash pasteurization heats the puree for just 15 seconds to ensure sterility without cooking the flavor.
The puree is packed aseptically. No air touches the product, giving it a shelf life of 2 years.
Meanwhile, our premium frozen cubes are ascending to the high-tech sorting deck. Gravity takes over now, feeding the automated quality control systems. To be scanned by lasers, the fruit must be spread thin. No cube can hide behind another. They approach the most advanced machine in the entire facility, the optical sorter.
Lasers scan the fruit thousands of times per second, detecting defects based on color, water content, and chlorophyll. Pneumatic ejectors fire with sniper-like precision, removing imperfections without touching the good fruit.
The rejection threshold is adjustable. Today, it is set to premium grade A tolerance.
Only the flawless cubes survive the optical gauntlet, moving up to the weighing deck.
The multi-head weigher is the brain of packaging. It calculates weight through combinational logic.
Vibration feeds the fruit evenly into 14 separate holding chambers.
The machine doesn't weigh one big pile. It weighs 14 small piles simultaneously. The computer finds the combination of buckets that adds up to exactly 500 grams.
This eliminates overpacking. The accuracy is within 1/10 of a gram.
Packaging film travels at 2 meters per second to keep up with the falling fruit.
The forming shoulder transforms the flat sheet into a continuous cylinder. A vertical heat seal creates the spine of the bag. Batch codes and expiry dates are stamped instantly on every unit. Nitrogen gas displaces the oxygen, preventing freezer burn during storage. The bag catches the falling charge of fruit perfectly. One motion seals the current bag and creates the bottom of the next one. Sealed, coated, and weighed, the product is now consumer ready. Though the filler is accurate, the check weigher is the final judge. It verifies the weight of every single bag of papayas. Underweight bags are instantly rejected. Regulatory compliance is non-negotiable.
X-ray scanners look through the packaging, searching for glass, stone, or dense plastics hidden among the fruit.
It can detect contaminants as small as 0.8 millimeters. Parallel to the fruit line, the case erector builds the shipping cartons.
Bottom sealed and sturdy, the cartons head to the pack.
Robotic case packers reduce repetitive strain injuries for human workers, such as male workers.
8 bags per case. This modular packing maximizes space in shipping containers.
Vibration ensures no bag gets pinched when the top flaps close.
The cycle is complete. The fragile fruit is now fully armored in corrugated cardboard. Smart labels track the product's origin, shift time, and destination market.
Gravity assists the logistics, bringing the finished cases down to the palletizing hall.
Automation handles the heavy lifting. A fresh pallet is staged every 3 minutes.
The palletizer works tirelessly, stacking cases in an interlocking pattern for stability. A full pallet weighs nearly a ton. Manual stacking at this speed would be impossible. Slip sheets are added to increase friction, preventing the column of boxes from toppling. The load is stable, but not yet road-ready. It needs one final layer of protection.
To survive the ocean crossing, the entire load must be unitized.
While the pallets stack up, the science team validates the safety of the papaya lot.
Rapid thaw protocols prepare the papaya tissue for microbial analysis.
First, the taste. The Brix test measures sugar content. The papaya must be above 11%.
Sweetness confirmed. Now, we hunt for invisible enemies.
Results take 24 hours. The papayas cannot leave the warehouse until the all clear is given.
The texture analyzer measures firmness. Freezing shouldn't turn the papaya to mush. Samples are cultured to detect E. coli, salmonella, or listeria hiding in the fruit. Colorimeters ensure the orange hue meets the specific sunset standard required by buyers. A retention sample from every papaya batch is kept for 2 years in case of future customer complaints.
They don't just test the fruit, they test the water the papayas swim in every hour.
Every hour, the metal detectors are challenged with test pieces to prove they are working.
If a detector fails the test, every bag of papaya processed since the last check is quarantined.
Integrated pest management ensures insects are monitored and kept out of the production zone.
Environmental swabbing hunts for harborage points where bacteria might hide in the machinery. Machines measure sugar, but only humans can judge the nuance of tropical papaya flavor.
The data converges. Papaya batch #4092 is officially cleared for export.
This piece of paper is the passport the fruit needs to cross international borders. The finished papaya pallets enter the cold store. Capacity, 4,000 tons. Precision drivers slot the inventory into high-density racks with only inches of clearance.
Here, the product enters a dormant state, awaiting orders from the global market.
When a purchase order arrives, the first-in, first-out system identifies the oldest batch. Inventory management software guides the driver to the exact coordinate of the target pallets. The shipment is staged on the loading dock, double-checked against the shipping manifest. The cold chain must never be broken.
Before a single box is loaded, the vessel is inspected for odors, debris, and temperature integrity.
Unlike standard cargo, frozen food requires bottom air circulation to prevent hot spots. Airbags lock the cargo in place, preventing shifting during heavy seas. A spy is left behind. This logger records the temperature every hour for the next 4 weeks. The seal is snapped. The cargo is legally in the hands of the shipping line.
From a tropical tree to a freezer in Tokyo or New York, the journey takes 30 days.
But for the consumer, the taste is as fresh as the moment it was picked.
And this is how modern factories produce frozen papaya from start to finish.
Subscribe for more real factory breakdowns.